You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be
point.
stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. This is your last chance. You take the red After pill. This, there is no turning back. You stay in Wonderland. You take the blue pill, and I show you how story ends.
This is
You
a
wake
struggle
up in your bed and believe whatever
for the
you want.
survival.
This is your last chance. Remember, after this, there is no turning back. Saying all I'm offering is the truth. Take the blue pill, and I
And
show you
this
how
will
story.
be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be
point.
stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be
point.
stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have been brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weirdly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weirdly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weirdly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weirdly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weirdly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. Momentum is
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
I'm trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have a calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is clearly
Time is coming.
at a
Train
tipping
can't be stopped. It's
Right?
already here.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. How's that? Are we live? Do we got a thumbs up? Because maybe they didn't hear me just say, use the Lord's name in vain real quick.
Oh, that
I
would
hope
be
not.
good.
Yeah, that would be good. It's not recorded if that's the case. Are we live? Thumbs up audio. Thumbs up audio. All right, perfect. We're good now.
Oh, we have to do introduction all over.
So we have to
again.
do introduction all over again. Everybody, I appreciate for tuning into the True Perspective, the TRU Perspective on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Rumble. Thank you for bearing with us on the slight technical difficulty. We were supposed to launch over at 6:30, whatever. Something happened. Facebook, YouTube, the whole tech difficulty garbage.
It's on purpose, I am sorry.
It is on purpose. But we are in the studio today with Yohani
Uzbekistani.
And unfortunately, Freedom Man has been sent to the gulag. So Yohani Uzbekistani is now in the place of Freedom Man for the time being, for an indefinite time, I imagine.
It is probably going to be forever.
Gulag is not...
Well, this particular gulag that he goes to is because he may be having to forfeit his life.
Oh, boy.
For your freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom Man was an ideology that we had many years ago, he was fighting the good fight for freedom, but he lost.
Mm.
And unfortunately, that means that the people who knew Freedom Man and who loved Freedom Man will have to pick up the fight and carry on without him. Because the truth of the matter is that freedom no longer exists in America. And I have come from foreign country to tell you this. So we will talk much about this later as the show progresses. I don't want to get you all bogged down in too many of the details just yet, but we have so many things to talk about. How are you today, Timothy?
Good. True.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
We're going to send... We're gonna have to send...
Timothy has gone to Gulag with Freedom Man.
I'm going to have to send him to the gulag. Everything's good. I did a podcast last night. We were live last night.
I saw that you sent me a link. I did not get to watch yet.
Yeah,
though.
that's fine. That's I had a good guest in here, Pastor Mike. Pastor Mike came in here and we talked about his testimony, and we talked a lot of God, a lot of Jesus, a lot of scripture, and some breaking down of the content of some things that
Wow, that is really great to
yeah.
hear. I'm happy to hear
So
that.
we got involved in that. Yeah, family's good. Everything else is good. Podcast is going. Life is happening. And the world is also on a. It seems as though it's on a downward decline.
The world is being
There's like two things happening. There's like
very
two things happening.
unforgiving. Very
Yeah.
unforgiving nowadays.
Yep.
Cannot make any mistakes.
Yep.
No more mistakes. You end up in gulag. I tell you, this is truth. You want truth? I will tell you truth tonight.
Putin's gulag or
Well, President Putin comes on to interview with
Tucker
Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, yeah.
Yes, American CIA agent.
Oh yeah, did you see that? Did you see so the silence in Tucker Carlson's face when Putin was mentioning that? The fact that he mentioned that in such a it almost was like an ominous tone. He was like, I remember that you made like the application, took the application to become a CIA, and it didn't go through.
But what do we know about that?
Sure, right. That's that is also a big point. I didn't know any. I had no
did
idea.
not know.
If that's actually a true claim, that's pretty.
Well, truth
That's
of matter is whether or not Tucker Carlson is a CIA agent in reality or not, he is working for media in the United States of America, where everything is.
Cheers for freedom,
cheers.
man.
Let us do toast to freedom, man.
Cheers
Before
for
we
freedom.
get into details, I hope
Okay.
you can see I have purchased.
Oh yeah, we're also everybody, ladies and gentlemen. This is sponsored by yours truly, the true Norseman Crafts, and here
I have purchased horn, and I'm
Yohani
going to drink from horn.
Yohani Uzbekistani.
So let's toast.
Toast to freedom, man.
Cheers.
Cheers to the gulag. I guess.
What is the other word we say? Oh, I know. There's so many words we say.
Skål. Skål. Good old Norse language right there.
Yeah. So, is Tucker Carlson agent? We don't know. Media in United States of America has been a long time bought and sold for. Does he? He says in beginning of his interview, he says, "I am paying for this myself, or we are paying for this ourselves. We are independent. Flight over to Moscow, everything is paid for." And so gives him some sort of privilege to be, in special. He wants to be able to deliver a message from President Putin without having anybody to pay for it. He pays out of own pocket. Sounds kind of familiar. Sounds kind of familiar with President Trump in his campaign. He says, "I will pay for my own campaign." I think this is some sort of ploy to make you feel like, oh, this must be genuine. I don't know, but anyway. So, Tucker Carlson does interview with President Putin, who goes into a long history lesson about Ukraine. I don't know how much I can believe. I think that he was being sincere, but I don't know how much I can believe. Although he talked a lot about how USSR has broken down, and countries like Uzbekistan has now become separate country from Russia. So we have, everybody has freedom of their own statehood,
Right.
and their own. And he talks about, I believe, he talks about, things like sovereignty. And it for me, I thought that this was good, but then I am not so certain how or why we would kill 500,000 people and try to justify it. I hear. I don't know the truth, actual statistics, but I am hearing like 500,000 people in Ukraine are dead.
Yeah.
This is a large number for
Yeah,
small
I'm hearing
country.
like there's a few. It's up there. It's like a few 100,000.
If you were to take
on either side too.
Well, if you were to take state of Rhode Island, where we are sitting on this place right now, on this land right now, small state in the United States of America, 1 million people, I think, is population approximately.
That sounds about right. I'm not sure.
So-
That sounds about right.
So half of Rhode Island be dead, and nobody seems to be caring about it very much, and this makes me very upset. Now, country that I am coming from in my character now, who I am today, and I will tell you history of how I became this man, because most people do not understand that you can be who you want to be today, right?
Right.
I am tall, black woman from Uzbekistan. Oh no! Wait, I am man. You have people in countries like Canada and United States talking about pronouns, and you can be this and you can be this and you could be that, but you have to. And then someone says a different pronoun, they go to jail. What kind of freedom is this? So I say that freedom has been dissolved. There is no freedom anymore, and so Freedom Man has to go to Gulag. Because how can I be character of free man? Freedom Man, who claims to be free man, but obviously is not free man. So let's get down to the truth in the matter of things. You, true perspective. So I come here to talk to you. We have so many things to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. But I was going to start with something about Super Bowl, since was recent current event, and there was and that's why I put hat on backwards. Can you see?
Oh yeah. It's picking up.
Oh, okay.
Say hello to everybody.
Hey, how you doing? So, where was I? Oh, Super Bowl. So I was looking at Super Bowl, and I think I am happy with the outcome of the Super Bowl. But I don't think there is problem that I have with Super Bowl, and I will tell you about it. First of all, I think Taylor Swift is great, very talented young lady, but I don't know if she is really a young lady. First of all,
You don't know. You don't know if she's a really young lady. What do you mean?
if she is real young lady.
Real.
What if she is a cyborg, AI? What if she is artificial intelligence?
Some people think Elon Musk might be too.
Well, this is what I am saying. We cannot tell by looking at a person anymore what they are. A girl could be a boy could be a girl. You know?
Right.
If you go down to... Now, I don't want to get your show banned again like...
Too late. It's in the gulag already.
Oh, no.
We're filming in this. We're in the gulag right now.
Are we already?
Already.
No, really?
Unfortunately. No. We're live. We're still live.
Oh, for a moment there, I thought you were saying that we already got
we're still
banned
live.
already.
So far,
Oh,
we're still live.
We
No
haven't
matter what,
I haven't even said anything about Joe Biden yet.
Before you go further, hold on, just so I can let everybody know. Make sure that you go to rumble.com/the true perspective, the TRU perspective, just in case for moments that when we get in, because some of you who have been following this show, we get into some pretty controversial topics. A lot of controversial topics have been spoken upon on this podcast. Spotify and Rumble so far has been supportive of this. YouTube, not so much. TikTok, definitely in the middle of TikTok when you were on here last time.
TikTok? Is that what happened? Not last time.
Not last time.
Before.
The time before. Totally dumped us.
Well, but that was Freedom Men, so you can understand
sure,
why.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I am a totally different guy now.
Absolutely. But yeah, rumble.com/the true perspective. So if the live feed on Facebook ever goes dead, go to Rumble. And you should probably be looking at this on Rumble anyway. Sign up, it's free. And you can also, there's also a chat that you can get involved into. But yeah, going back to the Super Bowl.
Well, Taylor
what's
Swift.
her name? Taylor Swift.
Taylor
yeah.
Swift owns Kansas City Chiefs. Is this not true?
Yeah, yeah, she owns it, right? Or something. Yeah,
I think she bought the
I believe
team.
she bought it. I believe she bought it.
Well, she is billionaire. But what I was saying, I mean, I don't know. I say, I see on internet says Taylor Swift's team wins Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And she has football player boyfriend, right? So we say. I
Right.
don't know if he's actually getting anything. I don't know if she even has the working parts, being that maybe cyborg. I would think maybe she does.
Oh, boy.
But, you know, when you watch her performing, she is very robotic in about the way she does things.
Could be like Adderall and something else.
Well, I don't know. I am wondering about this. But, you know, she is pretty girl, so she gets away with whatever.
Right.
Plus has big following. Obviously, people pay lots of money to see her. She does world tour, makes $1 billion.
Right.
So, I am not unhappy with her performance. I think she is very talented young lady. I would like to think she is really a young lady, but we don't know much about her background.
Mm-hmm. You
But-
think she was like lab grown or something?
I don't know. I am saying there are people who talk about clones.
Yeah,
there are
yeah,
people
yeah.
who talk about AI, you know,
At
artificial
this point, all of the
intelligence.
stuff that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, listen, you and I have dove in
We have gone down many rabbit holes.
many rabbit holes over at least for the past 10, 15 years now, like just being in private conversations over time where there's been like the whole occult, the whole ritualistic, all of that
much.
stuff. There's so much. The Illuminati, the
We could backtrack.
Aleister
over so
Crowley
many
and all of that
things.
garbage.
Oh, that was from last show. Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
We
yeah.
talked about
Yeah,
that.
we've talked about that. So like even saying it probably like 20 years ago, a lot of people would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Now that we do have artificial intelligence, and now that we do actually
The
have
realities of our science fiction coming true now is in everybody's face.
100%.
You cannot say, well, it's just a science fiction.
Are we saying that Taylor Swift is a robot?
No, I say she's very
No,
pretty
maybe
girl.
not.
I think
Who knows?
she's very successful in her career. I
Right.
believe that she's very talented. I do believe that she can play guitar, and I see her play more than one instrument. She plays multiple instruments. I believe
yeah.
keyboard, guitar,
plays-
maybe banjo.
She probably
even.
plays a good skin flute.
Well, we don't.
Sorry.
Oh.
Forgive me, sorry.
Sorry, I did not. It was not me this time. Anyway,
I
you know,
apologize.
well, for that I must have
That's the
drink
dark-
out of horn.
Drink
And I
out-
was
cheers.
saying, I don't know,
Skål.
can you see this?
Oh yeah, they see it.
Is this not a beautiful thing?
Yep.
I think that everybody should go to. Would you like to plug your website one more time?
Yeah, the true perspective on Instagram and Facebook.
No, not that. I mean, where do they get horn if they want horn?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the True Norseman Crafts. I apologize.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so used to
Boy,
saying
I
the
tell
true.
you,
yeah.
I have to tell this guy everything. Anyway, I'm going to take another drink out of horn because I was thinking this horn could be used for many things.
Yep. Skål.
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 Besides drinking, I mean.
I'm sure it was used as a fine weapon.
Well, I hope this one
Back
wasn't
then.
worked anything more than just for drinking.
As far as I know, I mean, there's a lot of love put into that, but not the kind of love that we're talking about.
Had me going for a minute there. Okay, so anyways, football game was fun. I liked watching football games. Sorry you did not get to see. It was a good game.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see it.
it was an exciting game. Went into overtime. This is not a very well, you know. I don't know if it's not a common thing, but I don't see. I am going down to conspiracy path of it being rigged because Taylor Swift was always there. They always looking at her in stands.
Mm-hmm.
Like camera goes over there, you misplay. Oh, what happened? Oh, they kick field goal. They were looking at Taylor Swift.
I mean, honestly, do you think she doesn't seem like she's the football type. I mean, she
is
just
not
doesn't seem like the
football
football type, but she's there having a good time. Whatever.
But here is how it works, and I will tell you, in a nutshell.
Right.
Taylor Swift gets involved with football men, has team. All of a sudden, team goes to Super Bowl and wins. Think about this.
Oh, okay. So is the argument that
It's
some people
publicity,
are thinking that it might have been rigged, it might have been a rigged game?
Well,
I've heard a little bit of that.
I did not say that, but here I am. What I am saying. Here I am. What I am saying is that famous girl with big following,
Yeah.
but not very much sporty type girl, just music type girl, suddenly gets football player boyfriend. Now she collects many more fans because of football. Now all football fans look at Taylor Swift sitting in the stands when camera goes to her every 5 minutes during every game that she is involved with.
Yeah.
Now they are saying that it is her team. Does she really own team, or is it just her team in publicity stunt? Is this publicity stunt?
It's possible.
Then what happens? She comes out and says, "You vote for Joe Biden." Now she gets all her music fans and her football fans to vote for Joe Biden. You see what I am saying?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Is this a coincidence, or is this just the way it happens in real life?
This is something I was actually listening to. It may have been another podcast, or it might have been a clip that I was listening to from a podcast that was saying something along the lines that Taylor Swift might be the fan base of Taylor Swift might be the target audience to try and get Biden sustained in office.
This is
the
what
Democratic
I am saying.
Party to sustain.
So
in
they
office.
use her giant following, and then they add to it by increasing her following. By now, every football fan knows who she is, even if they never knew. Even I did not know who she was, but because of watching football, I say, "Who is this girl?"
But what's the demographic of football fans? Like, are they more on the conservative end, or are they more on the liberal end? Do you think?
Well, I think that
or is
there
it like in between?
I
Probably
think
it's probably cut in half.
I think that there is I would suspect that most football fans would not be looking at Taylor Swift unless they were looking at Taylor Swift on the football field.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I did not know.
That makes a lot of sense.
I did not know who Taylor Swift was really. I heard the name. I know she bought house in Rhode Island, of all places. What a coincidence.
Interesting.
And then I says to myself, well, what is such so fantastic about? I will go see. So I go on YouTube. I look up Taylor Swift. I go and I watch one of her contests, or what do you call?
Concerts.
And she is a very talented girl. I was impressed. I thought this girl is very talented. She plays good music, and I kind of like her a little bit. And plus, she's not very unattractive, if you know what I'm saying. So then she comes out and says, "You vote for Joe Biden." And now I am like, oh, no, I cannot watch this girl no more.
Did she shout that like during her concert?
No, I do not think that she did that during concert. I don't know. I don't think so. I think she knows enough to keep her professional career out of politics, but she has endorsed him. She actually did
publicly.
give her endorsement
Publicly,
for. And I'm saying to myself, okay, if you're a Democrat and you want to vote Democrat, what can you not come up with better candidate than Joe Biden? What is? I don't even see.
Well, here's the thing: Joe Biden is 100% controllable at this point. I mean, he's a hospice patient. He's a walking hospice patient, for the lack of a better way.
So it's not really even Joe Biden.
I don't
if
think
you
so.
really think about it, he has cabinet. He has vice president who I don't know. This woman, she says she is ready to take over.
Who? Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris says she is ready. I am ready to take over.
Yeah.
Because they are threatening to get rid of Joe Biden.
And they're already talking about on that. Like on the Democratic side, on the liberal side, are already talking about the health decline of Biden, which
they know that it's true.
Publicly, people have been talking about that. Just in general, the public has been talking about the decline of Biden as when he was already getting into office.
Right.
They were that was already a thing.
So if the stresses
what's her name?
of
Nancy Pelosi had reinforced or reinstated some. I want to say an amendment. I think it was the 20. No, not reinforced, but she had put. When she was head of, was she head of the Senate House or something like that? She had said something. I think Speaker of the House. Yeah, she had put something. She had mentioned the 25th Amendment, and I believe the 25th Amendment means that once a presidency has and I'm paraphrasing. I'm probably butchering it right
Maybe
now.
we should look it up. Let's not be, giving false
Sure,
information.
if you want to look it up.
I will quickly.
I know
look
that
it
it's
up.
like something along the lines that if a candidate, the presidency, if the presidency is in decline of some sort, they end up becoming like they could be replaced. The next person in line would be the vice president or would be the speaker of the house or something along the lines.
Okay, we'll
butchering
read
the
to
shit out of
you
it right now.
Section 1, 25th Amendment, Section 1 say, in case of the removal of the president from office or of his death or resignation, the vice president shall become president. Which,
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
and if he is declared,
But she was already talking about it year one.
well, because the man is already, we have known that he is not really. I mean, I don't, like I said in the first time. Well, how can they? This is the best candidate they could come up with.
Alice, I see you. Hi there.
Sorry if anybody is offended by our.
No.
I don't want to be kicked off the air.
No.
We haven't even got to
the
whole-
point of this podcast is to be on the as closely to the truth as possible, and the truth
We
is,
want to
the
give
truth
facts.
the truth is going to end up offending anyway.
If truth offends you,
if someone is getting, I don't think anyone in the chat room is offended.
oh,
But
good, that's good. I thought you said maybe somebody else. Did you say?
No, Alice. She's a good friend of mine.
Oh, good, Alice. Hello, Alice. Nice to meet you.
Someone I actually worked with years ago, but she's been following on the show, which has been it's been
Okay, so
helpful getting the show out there. Like everyone that follows, I appreciate it. I
Good.
really do.
Yohani sometimes, from not knowing too much about American folklore and certain things, may say something stupid, and I don't want to be offensive. Because sometimes I talk about cleavage and stuff like that.
That's listen. This is an open platform. You can say whatever the hell you want.
I know, but I don't want to be offensive to Alice.
Oh,
Or anyone for that matter. I'm not trying to,
I hear you. Yeah.
So Alice is a good girl who helps you.
Yes, good friend.
Okay. Good. So moving on. 25th Amendment. So yeah, Kamala Harris comes out publicly this week, says, I am ready to take over.
Yeah.
So why would she say such a thing? Unless she was ready to take over. In other words, so I had third on, I saw.
This is recent.
Very recent, like
recent.
this week. So Joe Biden was in some sort of lawsuit about something, I'm thinking with his son maybe, and he says, well, I do not remember. My memory is not so very good anymore. And judge says, oh, okay, we let you off the hook because your memory not so good anymore. Then
Hunter Biden, right?
Yeah, but Jojo was a part of it.
Right.
Says, I don't have remembering. So judge says, oh, okay, we let you off the hook because you're not remembering. Which says to me, if you are not remembering, how can you be president of a country like United States of America?
Right.
And so Kamala Harris comes out and says, oh, no, I am ready for takeover.
Like, what if you forget the protocols or rules of engagement when we're being invaded?
Oh,
which,
what if you forget? What if you forget how to put in numbers for nuclear bomb going off?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
when we really need it.
Yeah, like, oh, no, I forget the number. Hey, yo, get me number. Where's number?
Yeah.
Oh, special code number. Special code numbers for nuclear.
At this point, we wouldn't even need to be nuked. We're already nuked from the inside.
Well, there is the threat of nuclear war going on
Yeah,
right
there
now
is. There
over
has
in
been.
the Middle East and, what they're calling Palestine and Iran.
Iran has declared.
They say that they have all parts ready to go to make bomb.
But they've also declared recently ownership. I don't know of the entirety of Antarctica or a piece or a place in Antarctica. This is recent news. They came.
Oh, this is a new one on me.
Yeah, I read this last night actually.
Oh, that's very new.
Yeah, Alice says that if Biden were to get impeached, Kamala would be next in line.
Exactly.
Which it wouldn't be any better. We wouldn't be in any better position having that.
You know
happen.
what bothers me about this woman of color, so they call her. Mm-hmm. They say Kamala Harris is woman of color. I want to know what color, first of all, number one. But secondly, she is woman of color who I believe was some sort of district attorney, lawyer type who goes to court and puts people in jail, mostly black men. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is known fact.
For low level crime, like
smoking a joint.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Oh, I am smoking blunt. I go to jail because Kamala Harris did not like marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
This is foolishness that people would vote for her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am a woman of color. It's okay. No, it's bullshit, I say.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like her. I think she's a wise ass, but I don't know. No, that's my
I
opinion.
mean, you could watch.
She gets those smirky. These people with these smirky faces, and
Yeah.
trying to be in a serious thing, you know.
like smug, like a smug mouth.
You know, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one, the smug face.
Right. No, yeah, totally. If you watch a lot,
Every picture I see of her, she looks like smug face.
some of the not only that though, like a lot of the questions that she's asked during these interviews, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. Like she literally would be Joe Biden if she had dementia.
If she was a few years older,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
she will be soon.
Yeah.
But what I am asking, does anybody know? Maybe someone in the audience, maybe we may have to Google this ourselves. What color is she of color of?
I don't know. I mean, whatever the agenda wants to place that in, because that I think honestly, I think that's the whole reason why she was able to be. First of all, she's not vice president material. She's not president material. Not even her.
She was a
not
lawyer
even her
who locks up men for
not
doing
even her
stupid
accolades.
things.
Yeah, and her track record for
What
locking up.
was her track record? Was she ever governor?
I don't know. I think she was just a
senator.
She was a judge, wasn't she?
Judge? I don't think so. I think she was attorney general.
Attorney general, that's right.
I don't think that qualifies.
Right.
But then, hey, anybody can be president. You could be president, true.
Yeah.
I could be president. I don't even hail from this country.
I mean, going back maybe 100 years ago or somewhere along the lines, the common man was meant to be the
In
president.
all honesty, I believe that the common man who just comes up and says, I want your vote, and I will, this is what my platform is. I will help you be successful in life. I will help you to prosper. I will help you to, have good, healthy things for your family. I mean, what else is there that, why, there is only one real reason why man gets out of bed in the morning?
What's
And
that?
I'm not to have sex. I'm not talking about sexual thing. Come on now. People first thing they ever think of, but he doesn't have to get out of bed for that. But what makes him get that? So here is the controversial thing. So why would man get out of bed if he has wife in bed with him?
Purpose.
No, what is real reason?
What is the real reason for a man to get out of bed?
Yeah,
Purpose.
to feed hungry children.
Or that.
There is only one reason. Why
feed-
else would you get out of bed except you got to get food? So you go out of the cave to find the food, to bring home to babies. Mama stays home with babies, takes care of babies in cave. Papa goes out, gets food for babies and for wife. So she can make milk for babies when they are little. And then once babies get big enough, they go out with Papa to find more food. But that is only reason. And it doesn't matter what culture you come from. It doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter how much brainwashing you have had. You only get out of bed to get food or maybe go pee-pee, and you don't want to pee-pee in bed. That's the only other reason. And then, I mean, we could go about it and we'll go more details, but I will not do that for sake of show. And people, may have children listening. But even children know what to get out of bed for once they become a little bit more than baby,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
What
sure.
is first thing that child wants to do when they get out of bed?
Eat.
I want food.
Food.
Give me breakfast now.
Yeah.
I have story about this when I was a little boy, but I don't know if this is appropriate time for going into that. I was starting to tell you before the show, but I think
the mountain.
well, we have where I come from in my country. We live in cave, and the cave is on side of mountain, and we call mountain urine mountain because everybody pees on mountain, But that is just another story for another day.
Jeez.
I don't want to be embarrassing to you. True.
No. I'm having a good time.
Okay.
Are you having a good time?
I am having very
I'm having a
good
good time, man.
I have a
Cheers.
very good time. I am very happy to be here in a free country.
So far.
Propaganda says you can have freedom in this place, so that's why we come here. A lot of people come from foreign countries to be free here in America. And I cannot blame them for wanting to come over the border, but let's face it. There are lots of problems here in America that I am seeing, which apparently people who have been here for many longer time maybe than me do not see. We have homeless people living in streets, but then we are saying that it's okay to let millions of more homeless people come to this country. Because all those people who come across border, they are homeless people. They don't even have country to live in now. They are coming here to this country to find new country to live in. They don't have homes. So what happens when they come here? We are supposed to give them homes. We are supposed to give them food. We are supposed to give them jobs. Now Rhode Island says you can have driver's license even without supplying any form of identification or papers. Now, I am not saying that is you should be able to have all sort of documentation just to be having a driver's license. In fact, if you ask me, you should not even need a driver's license. I certainly did not need a driver's license when I left cave. I walk down mountain, I go across valley, I see off in distance on other side of lake, and I did not swim across lake. I had to go all the way around lake to get to little city on the other side of lake. And people say to me, "Who are you?" And I says, "Yohani from Uzbekistan," which is what I thought, but I did not know for sure, because I come from cave on Ural Mountain. And they says, "Well, is that the mountain over there?" I say, "Yeah, that's the mountain over there." And they say, "Oh, that's Uzbekistani." Okay. But Mama and Papa said something about Uzbekistani when Yohani was a little boy. So I was thinking, why are you why are you laughing at Yohani?
I'm sorry.
I know. It's fun. It's funny story.
I apologize. I apologize. I wasn't gonna laugh. I'm so sorry.
You're making me laugh.
Whew, I'm sorry.
It is funny story.
Go ahead,
though.
continue.
So
I'm sorry. I'm good now.
So I go to a little city, and where the caves are stacked up on top of each other. They don't have cave on side of mountain, and they don't go urine on mountain either. But their mountain is shaped like building now. They call it building. Has many caves in it. And I says to so anyway, let me go back around. I'm sorry.
Wait, what do you call them? What the fuck are those things called? The containment things?
No.
Like
see,
the containers that go.
Well, no, what they call
what you're talking
caves.
about?
No, well, see, we call cave and
No. I'm not talking about the cave. You were talking about the across this valley.
Yeah, in city they build giant, tall. It's make-a-believe mountain out of steel and concrete and with glass windows, and
Gotcha.
they have lots. And sometimes they call them condominiums. Sometimes they call apartments, but we call caves. But caves where Yohani comes from when he was a little boy. So let me tell you a little background because maybe we get off track.
Okay.
And I don't want to make you laugh because it sounds funny, but because I skip ahead
I
on story.
apologize. I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay. So when Yohani was a little boy, of course, Yohani is waking up one morning. Goes outside, very sunny, nice day. Go outside to play. Thinks maybe Mama, Papa will wake up and make breakfast because, that's what normally happens on a normal day. So Yohani is outside playing and getting hungry, burning off all of the little bit of energy that he had from last night's dinner. And finally goes back to cave and says, "Hey, Mama, wake up and make a breakfast." What is so funny about breakfast? Anyways, Yohani says, "Mama, make a breakfast." What is so funny, True?
I'm sorry. Woo. I apologize. I don't know
This is a serious moment.
Yes, it is. I don't know what's come over me. I apologize.
So Yohani says, "Mama, wake up." And Mama doesn't know to wake up. "Papa, wake up. Papa, wake up, and Mama. Have some breakfast." And I was like, I don't know. I go back out to play for a little bit while longer. Give them a little bit more time to sleep. I guess maybe they are hungover or something. Sometimes they would get the prunes.
The prunes?
And they would put the prunes. Well, they start out to being plums.
Yeah.
A very special orchard on one side of mountain. Gets good sunlight. And prunes, I should say plums. But then they take the plums and then they make them into this, what they call prune juice. But it's really plum juice. But anyway, after a while, it becomes, intoxicating. And the village.
So it ferments and.
Well, that's it. Fermentation takes place.
So you have like wild hooch.
Wild hooches in every cave has this.
There you go.
But then when you go on certain nights, you go down to village where all cave people go to village. They have big fire. You call bonfire, we just call fire. And that's normal fire. But they bring the prune Or sometimes people use other things like cherry or maybe even blueberries. But they make, or, and in some places I think they might even use grapes. But anyway, they take this stuff, and only the big people, not the little people, are not allowed to have. So something about it is special. But they go, and we go to fire down this village, and everybody dance, and everybody sing, and everybody drink of the special stuff. So Johanny is thinking, well, maybe Mama, Papa went, because last night, they went down to village. Maybe they are not feeling so good this morning. So anyways, finally, Johanny is very hungry, goes and shakes Mama. Mama, wake up, shakes Mama. Mama is cold. Mama is like hard rock stone. Like, Mama turned into statue? What is this? I don't understand. So Johanny says, I go get Jojo. Jojo lives in next cave over on mountain. We have caves. You know what I mean. It's like a neighborhood of caves.
A coliseum of caves. A condominium of caves.
Right. Well, see, this is what I am getting at. So, our caves, all of our caves were on side of mountain and big mountain, which is natural, comes make out of rock and trees and stuff like dirt,
Right.
So anyways, go, Jojo, Mama and Papa not waking up, and they don't seem to be right. I'm not sure what's going on. So, and Johanny is hungry for breakfast. Jojo says to Johanny, okay, I make you breakfast, and then I go get Mama and Papa out of bed for you. So he makes some breakfast. Johanny stays in Jojo's cave for a little bit, and waiting for So Jojo goes over next to cave, or next door back to Johanny's cave, and they over there for a long time. But that's okay. I'm having breakfast, and I'm not too concerned about anything because nothing like this has ever happened before. So then a little bit of time goes by. Jojo comes back and says, Johanny, I have some bad news for you. Mama and Papa will not be waking up anymore. So Johanny is like, what do you mean they're not waking up anymore? You have look on face. Do you not know what death is?
Yes, absolutely.
So he tells me about death. He says,
I'm just wondering where this is going.
Well, there was a point to it all. Okay, so anyways, Johanny, so this is what happened. So Jojo says, you will be my little boy now, and I will raise you up to be big man. And when you are a big man, you can go to United States of America.
Right.
And I will tell you, I will point direction, I will teach you all the things that you need to know, and you go to America, and you be prosperous young man in America. So all time growing up as little boy in cave. Johanny says, I will grow up to be big man. I will go to America. I will be free. I will be prosperous. I will be happy. Everything will be good in America. Because that's what they tell us, This is what point of it is. Sure. I know, funny story, but...
I apologize.
I'm sorry that it is so funny, but... Because, I'm trying to be serious. But we go... So anyway...
I'm too.
I come down off a mountain. When I finally say to myself, okay, I am big man now. I am going to go to America. Jojo tells me go that way. Just keep going that way. You follow the sun as it is setting. That is in the westerly direction. You go to the west, and you will find prosperity, you will find peace, you will find freedom. So, I go down mountain, I go up, there's lake and way, go around lake. I see little place with stacked up caves, they call condominiums, or apartment building. I think this is city. I will go talk to somebody, find out how do I get to America from here. So I meet a man in city. He says, you go over to embassy there, and there's a building over there. You go there, and you talk to man. He will help you get to America. So I go to the building, and the man says, you stink. What is wrong with you? How come you come to this place stinking like that? You need to get cleaned up. Johanny is like, what are you talking about? I live in cave. So he says, I will help you. I will help you get to America. But first you must take a bath. And I was like, take a bath? What you talking about, take a bath? I don't know. Johanny don't take a bath. Because up on mountain where we live in cave, the spring water is very cold. And nobody takes a bath. Anyway, so he helps me to get cleaned up, gets me clean clothes, cuts beard off. By then, Johanny, even young man, has long beard, Had to cut beard off. and all that sort of thing. And then finally he says, "Here, put on suit." Suit? What is suit? And he tells me about suit, and he says, "Okay, we take a ride to airport. I give you a plane ticket. You fly to America, and you will meet people there who will take care of you, and you'll have everything for free. They will give you house. They will give you money." Say, money? What is money?
What is
No, Yohani never had money in cave. There was no money in cave. Tells me about money. Oh, a long story I can tell you. The story about the money was a very funny one. I could not tell you this one now because you have already been exhausted with the laughing, I'm sure. But maybe for another maybe I don't know. Let's see, what time is it?
We have plenty of time.
Oh, we have plenty of time. So
Plenty of time.
well, I don't know if I wanted to dominate the whole conversation, but this is important fact because economy is something that we all must learn about. Like, what is money? Who child does not know what money is? So man says, "I give you some money, or you go to store. I want you to go to store. I will go with you because your first time going to store, you probably get lost in store." And it's, "What is store? I don't know what store is." So he says, "Let's go. We get in car, go to store." Car? What is car? Don't know what car is. Oh, car is automobile. It is a machine that you can get inside, like horse, but you don't sit on top of horse. You get inside horse and go, and we take you to the store. So we go to the store. We get in the car. We go to the store. We go to and he says, "You can walk around store, find anything you like, and if you like it, you take it up to the girl at the front who has cash register, and you give her money, and she will let you take the thing home with you, whatever it is that you like." So Johanny walks around, looking at all of these things, not knowing what any of it is. So, and then see little thing that makes little jingly sound. Little jingly sound, jingly. And so this is interesting thing. I like the little jingly sound thing. It was a jingle bell, but Johanny not knowing this. So he goes up to a cash register lady, says, "I would like to buy jingle bell." And she says, "Okay, that is $1. And Johanny says, "Okay." Looks at man. Man says, "See one on there? That one piece of paper, one with one on it, you give to a lady." So Johanny gives it to lady. And he buys jingle bell. Goes, and okay, this was fun. But then the lesson gets bigger because then go to store another time, the lady says, "That will be $1.25. So Johanny says, "I don't have 25 cents. She says, "Well, you give me 2 of the ones that have 1 on them, and I will give you 3 of these round coins that have 25 on them." Do you understand what I am saying?
Mm-hmm.
I give
Of
her
course
2.
I do.
I give her 2 things. I give her 2 of the ones. She gives me 3 of the 25s. Johanny is like, "Are you kidding me? This is profitable business. I give her 2 things with 1 on it. She gives me 3 things with 25 on it. That means I got 75 and I only give her 2 for it. Already I am prosperous. I am thinking I am making money by doing this. This life that we are going to be in America must be very prosperous." And so eventually Johanny gets on airplane, comes to America. And here I am. But the problem is, once you get here, and with not very much education, you really don't have much chance of being very successful here in this country, because soon find out that giving lady 2 with 1 on it and getting 3 with 25 on it is not a profitable thing.
So it just wasn't explained to you.
Nobody explains nothing. And when child growing up in cave, this does not matter. You would be better off. You would be healthier. You would be happier if you stay in cave on mountain. But when come down off mountain, go to city where houses are stacked up big, and everybody has to share in this thing they call economy. Now you need the government. You understand what government is.
Oh, yes.
You understand what they talk about in this country about slavery. We people have created slavery by being involved with this commercial thing called the economy and government. Back in cave, we don't have those things. Everything is simple. Everybody is friendly. Everybody goes down to fire, drinks the juice of the figs and the prunes and the cherries, and everybody is happy. There's plenty of food on mountain. Not too many people, not crowded. Why do people come to America, think such great place? You have freedom. There is no freedom here. You become slave when you come here. You become slave to economy. You become slave to government. They created the slavery for you. You say about which pill do you want? You want the blue pill, you want the red pill, right? Why do we have choices like that? Why not just how about just, I want to be free? Yohani was free man as child growing up on mountain. Came to America with hope for freedom. Did not know what freedom was. Learned about money. Learned about things like what they call economy. What are you economizing? I don't know. I don't understand economy. I don't understand government. Why is it that we have to say to some people, I want you to tell me what to do? You're going to make laws to govern my existence? And then you are going to tell me what to do, and then I am going to pay you for this? Like, this is reality that we live in here in America, and this is not freedom. I am sorry, but I do not think that we have freedom here in America anymore. And so this is why Freedom Man had to go away. And I am sorry for those of you who may have known Freedom Man. I am sorry that you had to find out this way that he is gone. It is very unfortunate that Freedom Man tried so much, worked so hard in his life to try and teach people about freedom, and then we could not accomplish that. It was an ideology. It was a fantasy. It was not real. This freedom that they talk about. I have studied since I have been here in America. They say you go to university. We will get you a spot in university where you can learn all of history, and you can learn about the economy. You can learn about the government. You can learn about the money. We will teach you math. We will teach you how to speak and write proper English. Because when Johanna first comes here, very little English. English is pretty good now, I think. What do you think? Am I doing okay?
You're doing good. Alice is asking, where are you now from? Where, I think she's asking, where do you come from?
Well, when Yohani was little boy, Mama and Papa always would talk about Uzbekistani. I think they said that they were as Uzbekistani. But I think what happened was, so after learning a little bit of lessons of history in university, Uzbekistani was part of a union of Soviet Socialist republics. And then that big conglomeration of countries did not work out very well. Communism was not a good thing for them. Their economy has failed. So they had to break back up into little states.
Right.
But one of those states, I believe, was called Uzbekistan. I think they may be. I have seen pictures of this place, but I have never been there, so I do not know if that's. But Uzbekistani is what I'm calling myself because I don't know. I just say I am Yohani Uzbekistani because it sounds good. It kind of rings, comes off of the tongue nicely, don't you think?
It does have a ring to it.
Uzbekistani. Yohani
Uzbekistani.
Uzbekistani. I kind of like it. So, when they say, because when I went to Embassy Man, he says to me, okay.
You went to Embassy Man? Embassy Man.
When the Embassy Man, when I went to the first town,
Gotcha.
and then, then he helps me to
A
learn.
man who worked at the embassy.
Right. He says, how you get to America. But he says you have to fill out the form. So, not knowing how to write and all of those things yet, he says, what is first name?
Mm-hmm.
So I say, Yohani. He says, well, what is second name? No, I think he says, what is the last name? Last name? Last name, first name? What are you talking about? I have one name. Only know one name, Yohani. Well, you have to have last name to put down on paper. So he says, what do you think? Think of what parents told you. They must have said what last name was at some point, and I only could think of Uzbekistani. So I says, Uzbekistani. He says, okay, well, he writes down Uzbekistani. But I don't know if that's where her name comes from.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's the best that I could do.
Now,
So, I mean, there are probably so many more things that you would like to know, and there are probably so many things that you are thinking about with this freedom man being dead. Well, he goes
the
to Gulag, and I don't think when you go to Gulag, you come back alive.
no, it's almost like a World War II veteran POW in Japan.
Yeah, like, when they have that flag, I see this POW MIA flag.
At the time of World War II.
Well, right. You were lost.
Yeah.
You were lost, and you never come back. And then they find out, they find out many years later that some of those guys are still alive.
Yeah.
Living there amongst the, you know why? I tell you why.
What's that?
They find more freedom there being in jungle than what they had coming back to America. They said, why, go back there. I have nothing back there now. So I stay here. So maybe some of those who were missing in the war, maybe they just like to be where they were. Maybe they met some girl and she had nice cleavage, so I'll stay here. I mean, why not? I don't know.
So how does this? What are your now being here in
Yes,
America, right?
yes.
And we're looking at very great changes in America. Although, if you come
Do
here,
you want to talk about war?
I want to talk about war. I want to talk about the border.
What the big changes do you mean? Is war going to I think war will bring big changes to America.
Oh yeah.
In fact, I am telling you, I am here mainly for this cause. I will tell you what my real cause is to being here. Is that I think the enslavement of America has been from big corporation. And I hear about what is it that you call the guy Mussolini, he comes with
Fascism.
fascism, and there is these anti-fascist people now, and they call themselves Antifa. Well, I am not one of them, but I am telling you that maybe their original intent may have been a good one. I think maybe they have gone off track, but the fascism that I see in America, from studying at big university where I learned the big words, they teach me the big words and they tell me, you go out, you make big money now, because you know big words. So I go to university and I learn about fascism, because what I find out is that in the government, the control system that we all living under is controlled by commerce, which is corporations are running the state. Corporations become partners with state. Corporations, you have to go to Department of State to register your corporation, right? Well, think about it. It's just like ABC, 1, 2, 3. If you want to have big business, you get corporation by registering with states so that they can take tax money from you. And then, if you want to influence how the state is working, you give them money and you say, I will give you money, but you do what we want you to do. And what is the byproduct of corporation? We will enslave your people. We will keep your peoples in our corporation. They will work for us to make the money so that we can give you the taxation.
So do you think capitalism is probably a detriment in America?
Capitalism has lost its way. There was a time in your history I have read about in books where if you wanted to be corporation, you had to show how you will benefit the society, how you will be benefit to society, how you will help in the community. Now what we are seeing more and more is that the government just wants to use you as a slave. And there is really no benefit to being in corporation. Many people are better when they have own private business more prosperous, more freedom, more happiness when they have own private business and free markets where you have competition and people are forced to bring prices down to make it affordable for common man. What we are seeing today with cost of foods and cost of housing is that corporations are owning everything and they are jacking prices up to the roof. And this is what we see every day, commonplace now. And, you know, me coming from foreign place, coming here, you know, it is foolish for me to think that I would be giving everything for free. But there are millions and millions of people who come to America on a daily basis thinking I will get everything for free. I don't know what makes them think
So
that.
let's talk about that too, because I think that's part of the whole war process that's happening in America. What you mentioned earlier is that at the border, I don't know if you've seen it, but
Well, I have not seen it personally, but I know from my own experience coming across the border.
Well, I'm talking about footage wise. Is that there's been, you know, the whole hashtag thing about illegal migrants coming through the border has
But
been.
you mean undocumented?
Well,
Let's not call them illegal.
well,
Because in America, it is legal. You know, it is legal for them to come to America over border. How many people? Look at what Joe Biden. I don't want to say bad thing about Joe Biden, get us kicked off the air, but Joe Biden says it is okay for them to come here.
No, I know the political correct way that wokeism wants us to say is to call them not illegal immigrants, to call them undocumented persons or people.
Yeah, something like that.
Either way, they're coming through the border, and it's not there. A lot of them aren't friendly, and I'm not talking about just people from Venezuela or Mexico or Guatemala or
They
Colombia.
said
I'm talking about
31.
hold on,
I think it was 31 different
let me
countries
finish-
come
let-
across in every
Let me
day.
finish this thought real quick, because I don't know if you've seen in Venezuela, well, excuse me, in Ecuador, Chinese nationals
This is true.
are being flown into Ecuador
Yes.
because they don't need a visa. And then they're migrating from Ecuador over into Venezuela,
They're being shuttled like
Venezuela
on buses.
have hotels that these Chinese nationals are staying in. A lot of them military age men. A lot of them very they're very sophisticated. They got all their eggs in a basket, for lack of a better way of saying. Also, at the border, not Chinese nationals, as far as I know, at the border that are coming across what's that river there?
Oh, I know which place you were talking about. I think we talked about it on last show with Donald.
So across that river,
Not Donald Trump.
some of the migrants are being spotted with rifles in their hands.
It would not surprise
There's
me.
footage of that. I've seen footage of it.
There you go.
I don't know if you've heard of that.
Well,
but it's
I
not,
saw-
But the thing is, it has not been reported on. It's only been reported on independent media.
This is your media that will not tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Propaganda in America is very widespread. This is another problem that we have to talk about. When you have people in the media who are owned by corporations, they are subject to the. If you want a paycheck, you tell the news what we tell you to tell the news.
Yeah.
So they will tell whatever they are told to tell, or they don't get paycheck, and then they have to go to independent, like you say, and then they are called whistleblowers, and then people say, "Oh, you are a whistleblower. We don't believe you." But if you take time to do own research, if you can, and you will find that there is many resources on the internet that can show you, like footage that you were saying, videos. Now, everybody has cell phone with the capability of making pictures and making videos. And you see that a lot of this stuff will come onto internet if they allow it to be on internet. You won't get on Facebook because they will probably ban you. But we are beginning to see that a lot of people are becoming more how you say
Emboldened?
well, we used to say waked up. How do you say people are waking up to truth, like this show. You want to bring out the true perspective, right? So, but it is hard to get audience to actually pay enough attention to do some research on their own. Or take the time, I mean, like I see too many people who would, and I am not saying anything bad about Taylor Swift, and I am not saying anything bad about NFL or anything like that. Surely there must be, pastimes for people to have fun with and not think about serious things all the time. But, when it becomes so much of a habit that all you think about is fun stuff and you never think about the reality of what your life is, Like, why do you get up every morning and go to work? There's only one reason. Same reason you get out of cave, to go get food. But we are being oppressed as a nation by having these corporations demanding so much and then the government demanding so much more. And it is not just by taxation. Look at the cost of food today. We are paying 2 and 3 times as much for the food that we bought last year or 2 years ago. And every mama who has baby must be saying, I cannot afford to do this. And now they are saying, no, it's too expensive to have baby. You don't want to have babies. So now we have things like abortion going through the roof. And I will not go on that conversation. But you know what I'm talking about. It is too expensive to have family. It is too expensive to have home. It is too expensive. You want to have automobile. And I see people, some people, I don't know how they do it. They have big, expensive cars. And they make these payments that you have to make. And I don't know, what kind of job do you have to have a nice car? What kind of a job do you have to have now to buy a home? I cannot afford to buy a home here in New England.
I think the average household now, like, for the common home, the common car, and all that stuff, and the common, family, husband, wife, and 3 or 4 kids or whatever. I think both combined have to make around around 100 or 200,000 a year.
I heard just recently, maybe
just to make ends meet.
Right, just in the past day or so, I heard that the the average income in order to be comfortable or what you might call successful would be around $100,000 minimum. And I have never made that kind of money in my life.
Yeah, micromanagement in big micromanagement in big corporations. This is what Alice is saying. And then she says support smaller businesses. Absolutely. Big corporations, they definitely have special interests in the political area, and also there's an agenda.
They are buying politicians.
There's 100% an agenda happening right now. This is not by accident, not by any stretch of the imagination. This is by accident. Anyone that thinks that this is by accident, I mean, for lack of a better way of saying, you've been living in a cave.
Okay, so now you see where I am coming from.
Right.
This is whole point of conversation. So when I was little boy living in cave, had no knowledge of any of these things. No knowledge whatsoever. Don't even know what my last name is. Not till I go to big city, try to get to America, I start to learn about, I need to have last name. Why? Why do I need to have? Because you need to fill out papers so you can be registered. Why do I need to be registered? Because you are a slave now. We will put tag on you. No, you need license. You need this. You need that. You have all these requirements for life. This is slavery. And if you don't see it, I am so very sorry for you. I feel bad for you. I feel bad for myself ever leaving cave. I wish... Sometimes I think I should never have left cave. I want to go back to cave, but now that I know what I know, I am too much involved with trying to get people to wake up and see what is going on. Smell the coffee, I think they call it. Which is funny because coffee is big industry. But, you see Dunkin' Donuts on every corner now. I don't understand what is the fascination with dunking.
America runs on Dunkin'.
Right. Oh, yeah, right? So, but, everything is corporation. Everything, they want to demand so much from you. And the biggest thing that I am seeing so much of is let's take country like Russia. Big country. Big country like Russia has more land than any other country on the planet, I believe. Is this not true?
They have what? I'm sorry?
Russia has more land than any other country.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, and why are they living in poverty?
Communism.
Is it because of communism?
I would think so.
Is it because of fascism? Is it because of the corporations that
could
are
be
taking...
sanctions. Could be sanctions also. I mean...
But if you have land, you have money. Land, you can grow food. Problem was people thinking that there is finite amount of land and infinite amount of people. But really... There is more land on planet Earth
than there is people,
by far. And there is no reason why everybody on planet should not have piece of land to be able to grow food enough to supply family and friends and neighbors and trade back and forth and have bartering system. This is how it was on mountain. You would go down, like I said, Mama knew where to get the nice plums to make the prune juice for the special drinking that they had. And was everybody happy? Everybody had fun down at the campfire. And that was it. Life was just as good as it could get. Was not till when you decided that you needed to have automobile, or you needed to have big fancy house, or you needed to have all these fancy things that you buy in store like Jingle Bell. Like who needs Jingle Bell? A Jingle Bell is fun, little toy to play with for a young boy. But do we need all of these things? Why do people in America or China, for instance? Let's take China for instance. America say, we are not going to manufacture all of these wonderful things anymore because it costs too much. Nobody wants to work in factory anymore. Now, if you go back 100 years and look in the university textbooks, will tell you about Industrial Revolution. Now, this is where communism started. And why do we blame communism on Russia and China when it starts in England? Did you ever know that?
I did not.
No, I have told you before, so you did not remember it.
I might not remember what.
It was a couple of German guys, Karl Marx, and what was the other
Karl
guy?
Marx and
Oh, I am forgetting now. But it's from university book. You can look it up. I don't have to tell you these things. You should do
McCarthy?
your own.
Not McCarthy.
Oh my goodness.
Not McCarthy, isn't
Paul
it?
McCartney was in Beatles.
No.
Okay.
McCarthyism.
No,
Not Paul
No,
McCarthy.
it was what's his name? Karl Marx and Sigmund Freud. No, somebody like that. Anyways, a couple of German guys, because you know why? In Germany they had think tank and they were talking about Illuminati and stuff like that. But how can we control people coming out of country? So, okay, what happens is everybody came from farms, came into city, wanted to work in factory to make easy money, quick, easy money. But what happened was so many people come into city all at once, we don't have to control them because they were lawless. So we need to have a system of laws to control all of these people, influx from country into city. So they come up with idea, think tank. Well, we will make system of ringing bell. So this man Pavlov comes up with this idea about when I ring bell, dog salivates, even if I give him food or not. We can do same thing with people because they only get out of bed to go to factory to get money to buy food, right? So it's the same thing. We ding bell, you go to work. We ding bell, you take break. We ding bell, it's lunchtime. We ding bell, you go back to work. We ding bell, okay, end of day, you go home to your wife and children. Okay, ding bell again. Oh, time to go back to work. Why? How many people? You know what is really big industry? Used to be big industry was alarm clock. Why? You need alarm clock. So get up in the morning to go to work to get more food. Okay, people sell alarm clock. Now we have a cell phone. I have little ding on phone wakes me up. Go to work every day. Little ding. Little teeny ding. Like Jingle Bell. That was fascination with Jingle Bell. Oh, I can make little Jingle Bell sound. But anyway, so back in Industrial Revolution, we have to learn how to control all of these people. So they come up with this idea, we'll make a communist manifesto. I would like to know what the other man's name was. I am so drawing a blank. Karl Marx and anybody know?
Karl Marx and who? What?
I'll look it up.
Because I have Google here too, so I can look it up.
Because it just is going to bother me if I don't stop thinking about it. And you know how that is. I will have to. Karl Marx and made Karl. But anyways, Marxism has become a very big thing here in America, right?
It seems so because how we've seen the Antifa and BLM movement also.
Well, if you go to Brown
together.
University, you will find out.
Not just those two movements. It's been happening at the universities for sure.
Well, yes, I spoke to a young man one
Friedrich
day.
Engel?
Friedrich Engels.
Yeah.
That's the man I'm trying to think of. Yes, Friedrich Engels. And so these were two smart men who put the wording down, kind of like when Thomas Jefferson was credited for writing Declaration of Independence, right? So Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, but they were two men who penned the document, but there was big think tank of many people who come up with ideas for this. Anyway, was in early 1800s, and I think, and the document was finally published in London, England in 1848. And we only hear about communism somewhere going into early 1900s, but it took them that long to get it into implementation. Man named Stalin, well, Lenin and Stalin were the two men's names who were mostly credited with that movement in Russia. But the bottom line is there was another man called, we call him FDR. Franklin Delano Roosevelt here in the United States comes up with New Deal. Not very many, very couple years later after Stalin goes and kills Tsar and Tsarina. And so Franklin Delano Roosevelt says, I have New Deal for you, America. And what do you think New Deal was?
That was wasn't he introducing the Federal Reserve?
Well, Federal Reserve was part of it, income tax, the whole...
And taking away the gold standard.
Taking you off of gold.
Yep.
We are going to take the gold. So what happens is, eventually at some point they say, well, we are going to take alcohol from you.
Yeah,
We
prohibition.
don't want you to have the prune juices to make your drinky drink down to by the fire and have fun. We will not
No
have
more moonshine.
no more having fun
and those
for you.
Appalachian mountains.
No more having fun for you.
Yeah.
What's so America? What was freedom? How if this country has government and we ask these government people to control our lives for us, and then they say, no, you cannot have gold and you cannot have drink. You are just going to work. You will be our slaves. Oh, trust me, I can go into much more depth if you want me to, if you even dare. But because we will talk about Abraham Lincoln and the previous whole takeover.
I think yes.
It was a gradual process over many years.
I think that the state of the United States, and so I see the rest of the world at the brink of their own entire police state enslavement. I mean, we see that in Venezuela, we see that in Cuba, we see that in the Congo, we see that in Australia, Canada, Western, and in some of the countries that I mentioned are westernized countries that are being decimated by their policies that are being introduced.
I can tell you about policies. I have first
that are breaking their societies down and completely enslaving them. I mean, Canada is a perfect example. So was Australia during COVID and all that stuff. America.
Speaking of COVID, yeah, what was that? If that was not another form of enslavement, we'll take a shot, or else you cannot have job.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But America, for instance, has been the beacon of freedom, and on one hand, but also at the same time,
imaginary freedom.
Well, imaginary freedom, but more freedom than the rest of the world.
That is always the excuse. Oh, but we have more freedom, so we are free. No, you are not free. You are in illusion of freedom.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But the thing is that we have a chance at keeping. Well, we have a chance at putting this system at bay if we're able to keep them from.
I'll tell you what.
Overhauling the corporatized system, and overhauling the Senate, and overhauling the House, and overhauling the White House, which we are at the brink of right now.
Wait, are you saying that we must overhaul them?
We have to stop them being
from overhauling themselves.
Them being the special interest of the deep state.
Let me tell you something that just happens today. I happen to notice on news today.
Okay.
Joe Biden says we are going to have new gun law. Did you see this?
Federally?
Yeah, did you see this? Look it up. It happens today. He signs bill today.
I did not see that.
Interesting that we would have this show today. So let me tell you something about gun rights. In my country where I come from in the cave, nobody has guns, but that is okay. We go to university and find out what the history is of the world, and I find out that without a gun, you cannot defend your home.
That's 2 weeks ago.
In this modernized world that we live in. If you do not have gun, guess what? You will do what they tell you to do, or they will put a bullet in your head. If we are to allow our government to put bullets in our head, why should we not have?
Is that the response for the shooting that had happened at the Chiefs Super Bowl?
Okay, so there was a Super Bowl.
There was a shooting at the Chiefs Super Bowl.
Here I am getting ready to talk about this. They were shooting at the Super Bowl party after party, right?
Yep.
They were shooting. Okay, some man named Joel Osteen has big church.
Yeah.
There was shooting in there.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
I saw this very morning, I believe. I saw article that says,
Biden renews call for gun legislation.
okay, but in Joel Osteen church was terrorist type person comes into church, and I am hearing that was man pretending to be woman, but he comes into church, starts shooting, and some off-duty police officers who happen to be members of that church pull out their guns and kill this individual, and on the rifle says something like Free Palestine or something of this nature. So obviously a hate crime.
I'm putting it on the screen right now.
And I am sorry about the hate crimes. I am sorry that people cannot get along. Everyone where I come from as a little boy, everybody was happy to be in Mountain, and there was never any hatred like that. This is a foreign thing to me. When I come to this country, I see this form of hatred, and I am not sure why in a country where so much freedom and prosperity is in there, everybody hating each other.
Do you believe that this was...
Sorry.
No, that's okay. You can play. I don't know what
No,
it is.
I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know if I have the right art. Was it Lakewood Church? No.
I heard that it was. Just
Don't think
look
it
at
was.
Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen, I believe. Osteen, I'm not sure how his name is spelled.
Yeah, Joel Osteen.
Church shooting, maybe.
And it's in Houston.
Yeah, I believe big church in
Well,
Texas.
we know this is CNN. Well, I don't
But
know.
they may not report truth. I don't know what
Inside
truth is.
Houston mega church. Says a woman, but I did read somewhere where it said it said trans.
Yeah.
Trans woman.
Right.
Shooter had lengthy criminal history. Shooter killed at okay. So Lakewood, it was a Lakewood church.
Here is criminal who wants to hide identity becomes woman.
I'll read the headline real quick. The APnews.com. This is their article. Woman killed after she opened fire in Joel Osteen's megachurch. Boy with her shot and hospitalized. Says a woman in a trench coat opened fire with a long gun Sunday inside celebrity pastor Joel Osteen's megachurch in Texas, sending worshipers rushing to find safety while two off-duty officers confronted and killed the shooter. 2 other people were shot and injured, including a 5-year-old boy who was in critical condition. The violence erupted shortly before the Houston church's 2 p.m. Spanish service was set to begin, just as the rest of the country was preparing for the Super Bowl. The woman entered the enormous Lakewood Church, a building with a 16,000-person capacity that was previously an arena for the NBA's Houston Rockets, with the boy who was later hurt in the shootout with police. A man in his 50s was also wounded. And the other article on thehill.com says, this is in response to this, Biden renews call for gun legislation after deadly shooting at Chiefs Super Bowl parade. So there was another shooting.
Okay, yeah. And I don't think that it was a terrorist one on the
I'm trying to find that. I don't
know exactly. I heard from friend that there was some argument between probably just fans maybe arguing about the game, and one pulls out gun and shoots another.
And I also heard like mixed reports where like it's the woman was a trans woman or something along those lines.
This is what I heard. Let's say not woman.
Someone out there is going to say like, well, why is that important? Well, details are
because it was
important.
man with hatred pretending to be woman. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and I am not saying that if you want to be, I am not going to say or not say whether you have right to be whatever you would want to identify as. Mm-hmm. What I am saying is this was angry man with long criminal history now tries to disguise himself as woman to go into church and then start shooting people and saying Free Palestine. What was the Free Palestine part about on rifle? Does it say anything about that in article? Supposedly what I hear is that on rifle was written Free Palestine. Because obviously man was angry. This was article that I had read. I don't know I don't know how much factual there is to it. But if this man was angry about war and then decides to go into church and kill because they are Christian people in Texas, I don't know. I mean, what is the meaning of all of this? What is this hatred?
Yeah. I'm seeing something right here. Let's see. There might be a video I can pull up on YouTube in a moment. Give me a second here. Put the camera. So the title of this is on NBCnews.com. This is their article. In the title, it says, Anti-Semitic Writings Found in Search of Joel Osteen Megachurch. I'll try and let me see if I can lean that. I'm going to repeat that. Anti-Semitic Writings Found in Search of Joel Osteen Megachurch Shooter's Items.
Yeah.
The shooter was carrying an assault-style type rifle with the word Palestine written on it, according to 2 senior law enforcement officials. Further in the article, it says the woman, identified as 36-year-old Janice Yvonne Moreno, was carrying an assault-style rifle with the word Palestine written on it, according to 2 senior law enforcement officers briefed on the matter. A motive is still not clear, but police said they believe Moreno acted alone. A dispute between Moreno and her ex-husband's family, some of whom are Jewish, may be related to the shooting. Houston Police Commander Chris Hassig said in a news briefing Monday. The shooter also made several statements during the course of the incident, but the officials declined to describe them. Law enforcement officials added that Moreno previously went by multiple aliases, including using both male and female names. I'm not going to read the rest of the article. Anyone that wants to go see that, I'll see if I can put that in the comment section. NBCnews.com. Let's see, where am I? Give me a second here, everybody. I'll throw that in the comments of Facebook. Crack that open. And on Rumble, make sure you go to Rumble, rumble.com/The True Perspective, the TRU Perspective. Where's the YouTube? It's also live on YouTube. I'm just putting the links in the comments just to go read the article at a later time or check it out. And going back, I did see so this is going to be a YouTube video from CBN News. Hold on, let's see what this says.
This video shows a Spanish broadcast from Lakewood Church shortly before an afternoon service. Then the shooting began.
Hold on, I'm gonna rewind this really quickly and see if I can blow it up.
This video.
Why is it not letting me? Excuse me. There we go.
This video shows a Spanish broadcast from Lakewood Church shortly before an afternoon service. Then the shooting began. Houston police say a woman in her early 30s and wearing a trench coat entered Lakewood Church with a rifle and a backpack and immediately opened fire.
I was just walking up the stairs, and when I got on the top, like they started shooting. I don't know, like I just heard, but it was like more than 10 shots.
They were repetitive, boom, 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 and I yelled, "Mom!"
2 off-duty police officers working at the church shot and killed the attacker. A young boy between 4 and 5 years of age who was with the female shooter was hit by gunfire and was listed in critical condition overnight at a Houston area hospital. A 57-year-old man in the church was shot in the leg and is also being treated.
That female, that suspect, put that baby in danger. I'm gonna put that blame on her.
Police say before the shooter died, she claimed to have a bomb, but officers say no explosives were found. Pastor Joel Osteen praised the swift actions of law enforcement and said the church is praying for the victims and the shooter's family.
Of course, we're devastated. We're going to pray for that little 5-year-old boy and pray for the lady that was deceased, her family and all, and the other gentlemen. There are forces of evil, but the forces that are for us, the forces of God are stronger than that. So we're going to keep going strong and just, doing what God's called us to do, lift people up and give hope to the world.
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
So, all right.
It's horrifying.
Yeah. All right. So maybe the trans part wasn't accurate.
I do not
don't
know about trans part, and that was not point of conversation.
Yeah.
Conversation
No,
is
no,
about the
true.
hatred that is going on in the world because of war.
100%. I just wanted to clarify what I said earlier. I don't want to put out any.
I don't know about that part if it's true or not. That may or may not be true, the trans
Right.
part. But I mean,
But
the
Joel
point
Osteen.
is, okay,
Joel. It's interesting that Joel Osteen,
who has been very controversial in many over the course of time. Big millionaire or billionaire, maybe, I don't know. Lots of money he has made from his church.
Lots of money.
So people say, well, this is Christianity, just another form of corporatism where you can make lots of money. I don't know. We don't have religion like this where I come from. I would not care to go into whole religious conversation at this point in time. I was brought up with some beliefs and some faiths, and I have developed my own as an adult now. But I can tell you that the God that I believe in does not believe that we should be killing each other in churches.
Yeah.
People go there to worship, and whatever you worship, that is your choice. However, when someone has such hatred that they will go into a church and just open fire like that, I think I don't believe that God would allow that to be happening.
What if some of this stuff is like MK Ultra psyop shit?
Well, there is that possibility.
You know what I mean?
We have talked about that before in the past. Here's what I think, and this was my statement earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier today, with talking to my friend at work, I says, I think that who is man with big money that is trying to influence elections? What is his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Big man that's
lots of billions of dollars, and he's always buying.
Oh, George Soros.
George Soros is paying people to do these things.
Yes.
I think this has been going on for a very long time, where they are influencing, one way or another, they are influencing people to be terrorists. I think this has been going on since 9/11, if not even before 9/11.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I don't think that anything has really changed in the world today from as far as this perspective goes. When we talk about the CIA and the NSA and who is the ones overseas, KGB, what is that, KGB and who is the ones, Mossad?
Mossad, yep.
These people are...
Well, Mossad's like the CIA version, isn't it?
Of Israel.
Of Israel, yeah.
Israel now goes, and so, okay, look at, what was it, October 6th, I think? October 6th,
October
7th.
October 7th was the
7th.
attack, yeah.
It was January 6th was in Trump thing. We will go to that later.
Mm-hmm.
But when we are talking about October 7th, Hamas is a supposedly terrorist organization. I don't know what their affiliation is. I don't know if they are Sunni or if they are. What is the other one?
Sunni and Shiite. I'm not
Shiite.
sure.
I mean,
I'm not sure which
I don't
one.
even know if they are actually Muslims. I don't know what the religious, if they are a religious faction or.
They are Muslim. Yeah, they are Muslim.
Okay.
Muslim extremists, to be.
Okay, so they
clear.
go into Israel and they murder people and they drag people out and put them into captivity in cave, maybe. Underground. They say there was underground bunkers, whatever. And lots of those people were released, but many of those peoples have now been what? How do you say?
Some of them have been released.
Some of them have been released,
but a lot of the hostages are young women.
They are assumed dead. Most of them are assumed dead now.
They're assumed dead, or they're assumed still alive, but they're young. A lot of them are young women, according to reports. They're young women.
Okay, so
from what I've read,
because of this. And I do not blame Israel, but I don't even know what the truth is. I hear stories of that Israel actually set this up for some political purposes. Maybe Israel did this to get some kind of... they wanted to go to war because they wanted to clean out Gaza. So maybe they did it unintentionally. I don't know, and I don't even... Honestly, I am sorry to say I don't really care what the motivations were, but what I am seeing so much hatred in the world. I don't believe that there is any good reason for there to be so much hatred in the world. There is so much land that everybody should be able to have freedom. A man and a woman and their children should be able to live in peace on the land and grow the food that they need, or to capture or farm their animals, or however, whether you are vegetarian or whether you are carnivorous. Personally, I will tell you I am carnivorous, but I have also got, well, I don't want to go into medical things, but I have a situation where I cannot eat lots of carbohydrates. So you figure that out for yourself. But the where was I going? Oh, so the religious aspect. So what we see is we see a Christian church in Texas being attacked by someone who has Palestine written on their rifle. So I think if you just add one and one and make two out of it, you can see that there is a religious war going on in the world right now. And I think that America, without knowing it, most people here, I would say that 99.9999, and you can go on forever with that, percentage of the peoples do not realize that we are already in World War III.
Yeah, 100%.
And we have talked about this on previous shows where it was predicted long time ago that there would be 3 world wars. We are entering the third one now. And it will be a religious war. And the Muslims and the Christians and the Jews will fight it out amongst themselves until they are all dead. And then the one world order, who I believe is controlled by Satan, but I am this is just my own personal belief. I am not trying to influence anybody's thoughts about it. I am not trying to make you believe what I believe, but I am saying that there is evil, just like Joel Osteen says in that video. And I'm not a follower of him. I don't really know what his thing is, but I know he has huge church with a very big, large following of people. But he says there is evil in the world, and there is evil in the world, and it is trying to consume us.
Yeah, 100%.
And we will kill each other because of it. And like I said, I can go back to, is my sound okay?
Oh, yeah.
I can go back to Abraham Lincoln's time, shortly after the Communist Manifesto was published in London, England, when Karl Marx comes to America to have debate with Abraham Lincoln. I believe there was actually a debate, like they have presidential debates today, talking about how communism will transform the world. And this is in 1848. And then eventually, not very many, very few years later, we have Civil War, where people killing people. And I believe that I would call, in my opinion, from looking at the history of firearms and the Second Amendment, as you have here in America, that the biggest gun grab, which we are seeing a gun grab now because of this incident, Joe Biden signs bills saying we are going to somehow regulate the firearms. In the World War, no, not World War, in the what you call Civil War in America, men from southern states, 10 southern states, one of them being Texas, who was leader of southern states, and then the northern states go out onto battlefield and kill each other. We are seeing same thing today.
Oh, yeah.
We are seeing Muslims. Oh, you did it.
I did it.
There's a paper towel right there. But
I'm good now.
Muslims, Jews, and Christians will be killing each other on the battlefields.
Have you heard of Albert Pike?
Of course I have.
Have I mentioned him?
We talked about Albert Pike at length, I believe, on the last show.
We did, right? And he made 2 letters.
He was the one that was talking about the 3 world wars.
He basically predicted both the First World War and the Second World War because he wrote those letters prior to them, and then he also wrote a letter about.
He wrote all of those letters beforehand.
Yeah. He also wrote a letter about World War III, which he detailed in great detail. Said that the Islamic State and the Jewish state will have to destroy each other so that the powers that be, so that the establishments, the Rothschilds, whoever, the families that are in control of everything,
the world order,
can eliminate the Christians and the atheists.
Right.
But first the Islamic State and the Jewish state have to destroy themselves first, and then they can eliminate the Christians and the atheists.
Because you want to have one world order, one world religion. And their religion will be you bow down and worship us. We are your kings, we are your gods.
Correct.
And I mean, you think about, go back in history. Let us go back to, well, let me raise horn, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about Thor. Okay?
Okay.
Thor's hammer. This is a horn, but this is a Viking symbol of Viking strength and power. Skull. We say skull.
Skull.
They had the belief in gods that were all-powerful gods that controlled nature and all of the aspects of nature and elements and all of that. Ancient. I don't know how ancient, but it goes back a long time. But before that, there was the Egyptians. Egyptians had many gods controlling all forms of nature.
Yep.
And then you had, you may have Babylonians, and you may have Assyrians, and then there was Sumerians. I have been told as young child when learning about things that there was Sumerians was the oldest known civilization that we have in history. And they all had these multiple gods, which are all controlling nature or controlled by nature. We don't really know. Was they controlling nature or was nature controlling them? But then in my belief system from growing up in cave, on mountain, in unknown place, I don't know where I came from. Only call myself Uzbekistani because that's what I have been told and what I have heard over very, as being young boy. But in nature, I know you think it's funny, but in nature, these forces, these powers that we live by, you have to have rain to make crops, to produce food, so you get out of bed in the morning to go eat. It's all very simple. The God that I believe in is the one who created all of these things. And it only has to be one. And you can say, people will sit there and tell you things about evolution and how the world is billions of years old. Okay, it doesn't matter how old it is. A day could be 1,000,000 years, could be 1,000,000,000 years. What is a day? A day is certainly not the amount of time that it takes for Earth to rotate on its axis. A day is certainly not what we call a year where Earth goes around the sun. What has that got to do with the greater picture of things? Excuse my voice is getting a little bit scratchy. But if you think about in nature how things really work, a day is what would be, how vain are we to think that a day is just how long it takes for this planet to rotate on its axis? Do you know what I'm saying? What is a day in the eyes of the Creator, the one who is so much bigger and so much beyond all of this?
Sure. Well, I mean, creator would be creators outside of time, outside of space, and outside of matter.
So what is a day?
To him, a day could be 1,000 years.
Billions of
Billions
years.
of
We
years.
don't know.
Infinite.
We can't even begin to even our finite little minds cannot begin to even understand the greatness of such one that could create all things. So when we fight wars, over what? What are we fighting for? Economy? To have one loaf of bread versus another loaf of bread?
Land.
There's more land. We already
resources or
okay. So resources.
But and I'm
Why,
not
so
saying
you can have your special battery to run your electric vehicle now.
And I'm not saying that those are legitimate reasons to be fighting over.
No,
we
but
should
that's what
not
they are
be fighting over
This
these
is
things.
exactly my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we fighting
I'm
over
on the
such?
same page as you, brother.
Why are we fighting over such foolishness?
I think I was talking with. So I mentioned earlier in the podcast that I had Pastor Mike on here.
Yes, I'd like to meet this Pastor Mike.
Good man. He's a good man. And I believe I mentioned this is that I had said I can't understand why human beings would point multiple warheads at each other. It makes no sense to me. War has actually never made sense to me ever.
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't find now. Some would argue like, well, the greatest technology, the greatest weaponry, the greatest medical came from war, and maybe it did.
No, that is fallacy. That is fallacy because there is no greatest of any of that.
Sure.
Was COVID? Did you think?
I agree. I agree with that.
I will say something now.
I agree with you. I agree on the premise that if that's how you justify war,
you're going to legitimize a war by saying that we are going to create a germ which we did not create because the germ was created when creation was created. Coronavirus has always been here. To say that we have a new thing called COVID-19 and we're going to make billions of dollars off of selling this vaccine to you because you are an ignorant fool who thinks that you're going to be cured from this thing that's been here since all time.
Right.
You will get a cold. You will get sick. People will die. Certainly, this happens all the time.
Right.
It happened. Okay, I will tell you from my own personal experience that I had pneumonia long before anybody ever said the term of COVID-19. But then when I got after COVID-19 pandemic comes along, I get the pneumonia. All of a sudden, oh, well, you got COVID-19. You got the pneumonia from COVID-19. Well, what was when I had COVID, when I had the pneumonia before COVID-19, what was it? Oh, maybe it was coronavirus. Or maybe it was something else. Maybe it was flu. Maybe it was just a common cold. Or maybe you have allergies to something. Oh, yeah, I have allergies to mold. I've known this since little boy. Living in cave, you have mold. It makes you sniffle and you get sick. You have cold. Every springtime, maybe every fall. Johanny especially has cold in the fall time when leaves are falling. They call it fall because leaves are falling, you know. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
But we know that where I come from. When leaves are falling off of tree, oh, that is kind of funny when you think about it. But leaves are falling off of tree. They're on ground. Then rain comes and the leaves get wet. And what happens? Naturally, mold is going to grow there. And Johanny gets, like, cold.
Allergy.
Allergy is what they say. You're right. Oh, you got allergy, right? So this causes sometimes this will cause pneumonia, what they call pneumonia. Pneumonia is not a disease, by the way. Pneumonia is a symptom. It is something to do with your breathing.
Right.
But have had this since child. But all of a sudden, COVID-19 comes along. Oh, you got COVID, and you got pneumonia from COVID. Okay. Point is, everything is about the economy. Everything is about the marketplace, commerce. States are built on commerce. Governments are built on commerce. Commerce controls governments. This is what fascism is. And I am not trying to be such an anti-fascist as you may think that I am trying to be. But I am telling you from my own personal experience, and I understand why the universities are causing people to be aware of these things, and then children rise up. These young college-age children are coming up and saying, we are anti-fascists. We don't even know what we are talking about.
Right.
I talked to one of them, and they say, well, we believe in Marxism. Because, Marxism, everybody gets to share in, free medical. And I says, well, if everybody shares in free medical, who is going to pay for free medical? Oh, we will all pay for it. I am saying, are you a college student? Do you not realize what you just said? You say that it's going to be free, but we are all going to pay for it. What form of idiocy is these people being taught in these schools now? I don't understand.
Because it's an ideological agenda in order to create this. I mean, ultimately, what's being created here is this social credit score, in that we have to depend on this government entity.
Enslavement.
Well, it's becoming where it's going to be true enslavement.
It is already there.
Once they succeed getting everything digitized, once they succeed mastering
they are putting
artificial
the finishing
intelligence.
Touches. This is the finishing touches, true. They are putting the finishing touches on your enslavement, where you will not be able to rebel. You will not be able to revolt against them. Once they take your firearms away, you will have no means to defend yourself or your family or your home, your town, your country, your cave.
Or even look at the fact of where they're trying to get rid of. Did you read anything about Ireland, where the government over there was trying to tell farmers to slaughter all of their cattle because their cattle is starving?
They have been having farmers coming with tractors and coming into cities and trying to stop this.
Yeah.
This is insanity.
There's also a fake study. Like, I believe that it's a fake study, but it's a study that the government had released that had put out stating that people who grow their own food, like their own vegetation.
Oh, you're a terrorist.
Not only that, but that is more of a carbon footprint.
Oh yes, this is newest latest thing. I've seen this.
Than the industrial carbon footprint.
By growing
that's
food.
being put out from industrial.
Why do they say this?
Factories or whatever.
Why do they say this?
Well, they don't want you dependent.
No, but what is their scientific?
They don't want you independent.
What is their scientific evidence for being able to say? Do you know the growing plants causes more oxygen which is healthy for us?
Yeah, which there is also an opposing study right now that the Earth is becoming more greener because there's such an abundance of carbon. Because they drink.
If you have more carbon dioxide, it makes sense that the
They
plants
drink-
would prosper from
they
this.
absorb more carbon dioxide, and we when we breathe out, we expel that. And there are other means of how carbon dioxide gets out into the world or whatever the atmosphere.
They was trying to say the greenhouse effect was caused by farting of cows.
Yeah, farting of cows and
What sort of insanity is?
Also it's also about eating meat.
Well, of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's about eating meat.
See, if you eat meat, that means you have to have a cow first.
Sure,
Which means cow will have farted its
cow
whole
will
life.
have far. Yeah.
I mean, this is the reasoning
that's
of
a
these
ridiculous
people.
study. So
when did this become something new?
all
of a sudden?
I believe within the last
cows never farted before?
Right.
We have been having cows. Dinosaurs farted. Oh, that's why they went extinct.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah. I guess
They blew themselves right out of existence.
Yeah, it wasn't the meteor that came through.
It had nothing to do with meteor.
Or the asteroid,
or the volcanoes.
This is what happened. The asteroid was on fire. It came through the atmosphere, but there was
Made
such
lots of
there
smoke.
was such an abundance of methane coming out of the assholes of dinosaurs.
It
where
blew up?
or it just blew everything
Oh,
up.
Yeah.
That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's the true. That's the true story.
I can see this.
You
now.
heard it here first.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, we must have you in Grammy Award
Grammy Award
for discovering this.
for
truth.
discovering. Yeah. I discovered.
Or maybe Nobel Prize.
I actually solved the problem. We solved it. You and I together solved the problem.
Okay, you give me 50% of profits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fair because you mentioned dinosaur farts and I had the epiphany of that. An asteroid came through the atmosphere and there was such an abundance of methane that came out of the assholes of dinosaurs, and that's what blew the planet up. And that's what killed them all off.
It makes perfectly good sense now.
And then somehow we creeped out of nowhere out of the darkness.
We came out of the cave to get breakfast.
We came out of the cave to get breakfast. That's
see
right.
How it worked?
We needed some Stegosaurus.
Roadkill. This is when roadkill was invented.
Did they lay eggs? I think they laid eggs, right?
Of course.
The dinosaurs
laid eggs, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
We needed some T-Rex egg omelets.
Well, that must have been a good thing.
Yep, that's what we needed.
So since I cannot have many carbohydrates, I eat lots of eggs. I love eggs.
Listen, if dinosaurs still existed, I'd fucking have a dinosaur egg.
Why not?
If they were, if they weren't
Hey,
going
you know what
extinct.
I heard? You know what I heard about Super Bowl? Super Bowl,
Is
apparently...
it really a big Super Bowl?
Well...
How much cereal does it hold?
No, okay. Now you are on
Sorry.
similar track, but a little bit the wrong train. No. How does it go? Anyway.
Wrong track.
Super Bowl has become tradition of eating...
bread.
No,
bread
the
and circus?
chicken wings. What did they call the chicken wings? What do they call the little wing things?
Drums?
Wingdings.
Flats or drums?
Well, yeah, but what are they in general?
Chicken wings.
Okay, chicken wings. Right, that's what it is. So there is a tradition of having chicken wings while you are watching football. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Okay, it is becoming a thing to where they have actually, I believe, the statistic was something like 1 billion chicken wings per Super Bowl.
Wow.
So I am thinking that's about 500 million chickens had to die for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where do you get 500 million chickens, and how many farts do they make?
Right.
Because of football game. One
Right.
football game. Super Bowl game. 1 billion chicken wings. That is a lot of chicken wings. That is a lot of chickens that had to be killed for those wings. And that means a lot of farting had to have been done for those chickens to become big enough to have wings.
And it's ripping an entire ozone layer out of our atmosphere currently right now.
So, if you want to blame something on global warming, then maybe we should re-examine football.
Football.
I'm just
We
saying.
should re-examine football.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be, I don't know.
I think we should limit football
to only one night a
like
week.
the Olympics. Like the Olympics is like what, every 4 years or every 2 years?
Now football fans are going to be mad at you. What about just once a week? I mean, we are talking about how many football games do you watch every week?
How many
now?
football games do you need to watch
Every week?
in order to understand that
So
team's probably going to win?
I remember a time when there was Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Now there's Sunday football, Saturday football, Tuesday football, Thursday football. How many footballs do you need?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's getting out of control with the footballs. Now they want to make new football league.
Yeah.
Oh, for a friend who might be listening, you said you wanted to talk about sports, so we are talking about sports. Trying to relate
It's a good segue to talk about. I think maybe we need to consider to get rid of football.
Well, you know, I mean,
and basketball and baseball
when they talk
and soccer.
When they talk
don't take away hockey. Hockey, I don't like hockey, but personally, but I do like the fights.
Okay.
Oh, and actually, you know what? Just get rid of all the impact sports and just go straight to combat sports. I think combat sports should stay.
Oh no, you have not heard of latest thing, pickleball.
Oh, pickleball. Yeah.
Pickleball is not contact sport.
I heard of this.
No
pickleball.
contacting. You can play pickleball. You can be in big league, travel around country doing pickleball. Never have to harm anybody.
Have you ever heard of slap? I think it's slap boxing. No, not slap boxing. It's like a slap sport or whatever.
I think I have heard something about this, but I'm not sure what
sport.
it is either. You may have to Google it. I mean, this could be a very important breakthrough. I don't know.
It's a stupid sport. We don't have to look that up.
Now we are digressing.
Yeah.
You know, show is winding down when we start getting stupid. But I mean, I am not trying to be stupid. I am. You know, this is all very serious stuff that we are talking.
No, it is
about.
serious. Listen,
because
what I wanted to talk, what I wanted to mention was that because you were mentioning control. The ultimate goal of the establishment is to have entire control of currency.
Well, that's why I'm cycling back around to the sports.
Entire control of resources, entire control of people. They're trying to also control. The climate change has a couple layers. One of the onion layers of this is controlling food.
Absolutely. They are telling us that we cannot have our own gardens anymore.
They want to genetically modify the food or grow the food.
Laboratory.
And they don't want Americans like you and Americans like me to Americans all across the country to grow their own food.
Wait a minute. Americans all around the world.
All around the world.
Because it is an idea.
It is an idea.
It is freedom.
Yes.
This is the land of the home of the free and the brave. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, Freedom Man goes to Gulag, probably never comes back alive. Why? Because his idea has become antiquated. Why? Because too many young people have forgotten what it means to be free. You want to know why they forget? Football.
Football.
Taylor Swift. Things to distract you from what is important in life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there are people who will probably be mad at me for saying so, but all of these things are nothing but distractions from what is really required to have family, to have healthy, happy family. Cell phone was not an improvement on our life. Computer was not an improvement on our way of life. It may have helped to improve in communications worldwide and all of that good stuff, technology. Technology has its limitations. They are taking technology to new boundaries where now technology will tell you how to live. Technology will be your God. This is what they want. They want to eliminate the Christians. They want to eliminate the Jews. They want to eliminate the Muslim people, who, in generally speaking, are probably mostly peaceful people, have children and everything else like everybody else. They want to eliminate all of that because they want to have one God, and the one God will be inside of your computer. And then they will come out with robots that will take care of all of that business for you. And then the AI, the artificial intelligence, will be your government. And they will tell you what to do. And they will be ruthless with their telling. When they say you will not wipe your ass with your left hand or we will cut it off, they will cut it off. Or I mean, maybe I'm saying it backwards. You will not wipe your ass with your right hand. We will cut it off. Then you will be forced to use your left hand. But I mean, there are stupid things like in Sharia law, and I am not picking on Muslims, but I mean, come on, you have to look at your Sharia law and you have to say, hey, I don't know. Some of this is a little bit wacky. I mean, that when religion becomes your God, think about what I just said. When religion becomes your God, now you have overstepped the boundaries of what the Creator has designed for you. The only thing that the Creator ever wanted for you was to live in the garden and take care of those things that he gave to you. If you can take care of those things, then everything else will fall into place, and it can be peaceful, and it can be loving, and it can be kind, and everybody can share in all of it. The whole world would be one huge garden where everyone is happy That is what we are. That is what paradise is supposed to be. And the problem that I'm seeing in the world today is that nobody even cares about any of that anymore. We want to kill each other instead. Why? Because we want money. We want a fancy car. We want a big house. I was happy in cave. No car. Just go out and find some prunes. Mama and Papa was happy with the cave and the prunes. And go down to the fire and just be with their friends and drinking the juice that they made in fermentation. And I am not saying that that is always the greatest thing, but you know what? It's not so bad. If people get back to simple, basic things like farming and eating the fruits of the world, the fruits of the earth that was given to us by our Creator, then everybody would be happy. We would all be good. And you can worship, you know, the problem with religion, and I mean, I am not trying to take anything away from anybody, and I have my own personal beliefs, and I don't try to force my personal beliefs on anyone. I do believe in some of the things that I was told. I do believe that there is a Creator, and I could say that the Creator had, at some point, sent His Son, if you want to call it that. But I am not trying to impose any sort of sexual gender type thing on anyone. Does it have to be a son? I mean, that is what we have been accustomed to believing mostly in the Western world. But even in most of Europe and Asia, people have become accustomed to thinking that it was a man and a son, a father and a son. But there are still some people, I mean, it doesn't matter really what the sexual part of it is. The idea is that the Creator came down in a human form and then was with us to teach us these things. And if you look at, let's say, well, when people look at a lot of ancient manuscripts, there is so much commonality. I mean, this theme of father and son goes through many, many cultures all around the world. So I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but what I am trying to say is I don't want to be judgmental. I'm not trying to judge you on what your belief systems are. And I hope I'm not getting too serious for the show. It has been fun and it has been funny a lot of times. But I would like to make the point that you have to have respect for everyone's beliefs. But you cannot try to impose your beliefs onto someone else, and you cannot try to force your beliefs onto someone else. And you cannot try to force anybody to do anything, really. Well, this is where hatred begins. Okay, when we look at something as ancient, and I will say ancient, and I mean, I don't know if 10 Commandments is the beginning of law. Some people will say that the Code of Hammurabi or something else was very similar to it. But I think people, even in ancient times, had simple, basic beliefs about how we would treat each other. And mostly we'll see that there is a certain amount of loving kindness that has to be a root of all of it. And that the whole thing I find with problems in my own life is covetousness. When we look at what someone else has and we say, it is not fair that that person has that thing, so I'm going to go take it from them. And so then we see things like thievery. What makes one man think that I have the right to go take something from some other man? And then when you have countries going against other countries because they want what those resources are that other country has, you should make some sort of beneficial contract between countries to where I will benefit you, you will benefit me. We will share in this thing. You understand? This is very important. And I think many people miss the point of what is sharing. If a country, so what we see going on right now, and you talk about Venezuela earlier, United States company, I believe ExxonMobil, has made deal with, what is other, Guyana? Oh, I don't, we shall take break?
Yeah.
You want to take break?
Yeah. You want to take a quick break?
Yeah, because we can go into some more modern day stuff if
break.
you like.
Because we're gonna wrap this up soon too.
Yeah, I mean, I was winding down. I'm just
That's
trying
fine.
to get the point across that we can share in these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna throw the intro music really quickly. We're both gonna take a very quick break.
We have to go pee on mountain.
Pee on you on mountain.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Yeah.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
Trying to free your mind, it is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here are calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped. When it's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
Trying to free your mind, it is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here are calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped. When it's already here.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say it.
Trying to free your mind, it is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us had to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here are calling
I can only show you the door.
to awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped. When it's already here.
Thank y'all for sticking with us. Still, just had to take a quick break. That's the interesting way of how to handle lives. It's going on a pee break. Anyway, so finish up where you were talking about. Oops, sorry.
I'm okay. Here we go. Okay, here I am talking without the microphone, but now I am back. So I guess point of show for me was coming here to tell everybody in whole wide world that you do not need to kill each other. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there are certain places in the world where it is so crowded. Let's go back and try to reverse this influx. I think that when they created Communist Manifesto, they realized there was influx of people coming from farms into cities. And it seems as though government wants you to be in city. They want to bring you into cities so that they can manage you, so that they can control you, so that they can give you all sorts of free things, which makes it sound very, what would be the word, attractive. So they try to attract you into the cities. I think that people, and I hope that this makes sense to anybody who is listening, get out of cities. When I was at certain point in life, I will say that I trained to be military man. Won't go into much details, but they said, don't ever bunch up in one big bunch because one grenade takes you all out. Well, look at where we are today. We have millions of people living in little teeny spaces. They have to stack caves up on top of each other. They have stacking caves hundreds of stories tall. One grenade takes out whole building. We see this as evidence in 9/11. You see what I'm saying. So get away from cities while you have chance, and think about survival. What will happen to you and your children when you get up for breakfast in the morning to go get food and there is none because you are depending on grocery store for your food? Think about this. Think about it hard now. Because you work hard for your money, and you think, I should be able to go to the store and get food whenever I want. What happens when you cannot? What are you going to do? You're going to kill your neighbor for food? Are you going to eat your neighbor? You're going to turn to cannibalism? What happens in a city like New York City, where there is 7 million people in just a few city blocks? Have you ever been there and actually taken witness to this? Can you imagine what it's going to be like if ever a war actually truly breaks out on American soil? Can you imagine it? People will be cutting each other's throats to scrape the meat off of bone to feed to child who is crying because they have no food. This is a horrible thing. This is the reality of the life that we live in today. And I do not try to be what they call fear-mongering. I am telling you reality of truth because this is truth perspective. True has taken time to make podcasts for us to actually have truth given to us in little teeny bites. And I am here to give you big bite today because I am telling you from my country, where I come from, we live in cave. And just a simple thing like a prune, which would start out as a plum from a tree, could give you such happiness just to go down to fire and have a community with friends and family. That is all it really requires for us to be happy. We don't need fancy cars. We don't need big houses. We don't need stack them up 100 stories in a. What makes someone so proud that I must build a building that is 100 stories tall so I can stack people on top of each other like some sort of commodity that you will trade? I have big building. I have big corporation. I am so rich. I am so famous. This is not what is important. NFL football player says, I am having a girlfriend who is famous singer, Taylor Swift. Oh, I love her. She is so nice. I mean, I know, I understand what entertainment value is. But when it comes down to reality of life, you have child that you must take care of. And when the child is hungry, you will go out and kill your neighbor to get his food to feed your baby? Why not we all have land? And we all share the produce from our lands with each other. If you grow potatoes, I will grow corn. And we can trade. I'll grow the prunes and you can grow the cherries. And we will all have wine together at the campfire and be happy. It's a simple thing. It does not have to be a difficult thing like they would. Why is my phone making sounds? Uh-oh.
I think what we have to do is that we have to be more prepared. We have to strive to be more prepared because whatever's coming is coming no matter what. And
whatever is coming no matter what. But the more people that wake up to the reality of what you are doing to yourselves. And let's not
100%.
I remember in times of my life, and I have only recently come to a point where I am taking blame for my own actions. You have to take blame for your own actions. If you put yourself into this situation and you look back on your life and you say, all of the decisions that I made led me to this place. Okay? Take responsibility for who you are. That's what I am telling you today. Because it's so very important that everybody takes a good look at it. If the society that you live in happens to fail, which we are on the verge of. And anybody says, oh, you are fear-mongering. No, I am not fear-mongering. You have built a house of cards. And when that house of cards comes crumbling down, you, your family, your children, who you love, who you want to take care of, who you live for, they will all die. And then what will be left? Somebody will start it over. Do you want to be among those who are living to start it over, or do you want to be among those who are buried in the ashes? Ask yourself that question. That's all I have to say. That is pretty much it in a nutshell.
Well,
it's a lot, I know.
On that note, we definitely, all I can say is, because I'm on the same page of all of this, is that we just need to be better prepared and also take full responsibility. Stop depending on these corporations,
they are
governments.
not going. In the end, they will not do it for you.
Thinking that they're going to turn around, and they are not going. They are not going to turn around. They are
Foolishness to think that they would all of a sudden be benevolent for you. They want for their own children. They want for their own families. They don't want for you. They want you to be their slave. Yeah. I am working in a situation. I will tell you, this is, and I don't want to offend anybody who might know me in my working day, but people want me to do certain things. I am maintenance man. I fix things because I'm good at that. They depend on me to do certain things. I have to do this, I have to do that. They give me a list of things to do. If I was to stop doing it, they would have to find somebody else to do it. Some other man who would be willing to do it while they go home to their nice homes, while they drive their nice cars back and forth to work off of the sweat of my labor. I'm telling you, this is how it is in every single corporation. In every single state, we're supported by those corporations, by their taxation, and all governments around the world. There's no difference anywhere you go. Freedom it's something that we hope for, but it is not a reality in this world. I am sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry to have to deliver this message to you. But I feel as though sometimes I am coming to you straight from God to this world to tell you this one thing. Joel Osteen and his big church, does he tell you this truth? I don't know. I don't follow him. I don't know what his thing is. But he is a billionaire, I'm sure. Does he care about you as an individual? Why did that woman go in there and shoot that church? That's something that we all need to understand. That's something that we need to think about. Why would somebody be driven to that? That form of hatred. To take a firearm, which was meant for self-defense, and go in and be offensive with it. There's a difference between offense and defense. And if you don't know the difference, you need to study. You need to learn your words. And go to university to learn big words? Make lots of money? No. How about to get smart about what is reality in life? I do not want to offend anybody. But I'm telling you, this world needs to change, and it starts with you. And that's really all I have to say anymore. I don't know what else to tell people. Each one of us has to take the responsibility in our lives. I started out a long time ago with big ideas, and I wanted to be farmer, which is funny because it was instinctive for me. And my dad says to me, no, you got to get a job. You got to go make money. Now, looking back on my life, I would have been so much better if I just stayed in the cave. But, I have tried to be a good man, and I have failed over and over with certain things. And then I come to realization that it's because we are manipulated by the society and the powers that be, as you say, to do this and do that. Oh, you don't want a nice car? Oh, you don't want a big fat house with all sorts of... Oh, now it's all electronic, smart home. We got to have smart home. Why do we need smart home? Are you not smart enough to do your own homing? I mean, come on. Make your own homestead. You don't need to have smart home. Anyway, I guess we are... I don't know. How much longer did you want to talk? We can change subject.
We could wrap it up right here.
I get serious sometimes, and I'm sorry for that if it's offensive.
No. That's the point of the conversation. I don't know how it can't be taken seriously when we're talking about these things, because the world looks bleak I'm still optimistic, but at the same time, there's so many things that are coming down this pipeline.
We are at the end of the road right
figuratively
now.
speaking, I do think so. Yes, I do think so. And I think you know, one of the things that you said about taking responsibility also is, and it's also getting really right with Creator, because he's been sending us a message for
a long time.
A long
And the message
long
has
time.
never changed.
And the message has never changed.
Yeah, we just don't choose to listen.
We choose not to listen.
Many
of us choose not to listen.
When you turn your backs on the truth, when you turn your backs on reality, when you turn your backs on what actually makes life the wonderful thing that it can be, and you do it by your own choice. I've seen this so many times, so many people, even myself. And then when I turn back around and I say, oh my God, why did I not look into the light and see what was really bright and beautiful about how the world can be? And now I am an old man and I wish that I had done things differently, but I'm trying to tell you not to do things the way that I did. I don't want to be negative about it. I'm trying to have a positive spin, you know?
Well, I mean, there's a positivity to take from that, is that we have to, it's like you said, like no matter what that's occurring is occurring no matter what, but we have to stick together as a community, and we also have to get very close and right with Creator. We have to listen.
Well, you know, the thing is as dark as the world may be right now, there is still hope and there is still light at the end of the tunnel.
100%.
I can see it. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel
100%.
still.
100%.
And I hope that others people, what I want is for other people to look at the light at the end of the tunnel and say, that's where we need to go. I mean, the world is full of land for us to all prosper. There is no reason why we cannot share in the resources. Don't have to have big corporations hoarding it all to themselves with all the profits and all the billions. Okay, so maybe some people will be rich and famous. And sometimes maybe it's not bad to have some celebrities that we can all, hey, this is a good thing. We will have fun watching football. We will watch Taylor Swift singing her songs. I think she is a beautiful girl. I'm not trying to take anything away from her or anybody that is trying to be an entertainer. But at the same time, you know, if I have $1 billion, I can help 1 billion people today with giving them $1 each. It's very simple. It's just how simple it can be. So,
well, with all that said, Yohani Uzbekistani. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and we're gonna have to send letters over to Freedom Man if he's still alive.
Well, you know, we will bring him back, I think, maybe someday. But for now, we give toast to Freedom Man.
Toast to Freedom Man
for bringing us all together.
Skull.
Skull.
Skull. Skull. Skull. Skull.
Skull. Yeah.
All right, brother. I appreciate you for coming through, and yeah,
I am glad that you are here for me to have this microphone to be able to speak into for this evening. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. From out of the caves of Uzbekistani.
Well, a mountain of urine.
The mountain of urine. All right, brother. I love you.
Love you too.
Everybody else that's been tuned in, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and sticking with us. And make sure that you go like, share, subscribe on The True Perspective on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Rumble. This podcast will be showing up on Spotify in the next day or so. And yeah, make sure you go to rumble.com/The True Perspective, the TRU Perspective, because YouTube sucks and Facebook sucks even harder. But I do appreciate that we've been live on here. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. And I'm going to close it out. The True Perspective, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Rumble.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This is a struggle for the survival.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
And this will be our last chance to say.
Trying to free your mind. It is this feeling that has brought you to me.
At last.
No judge in U.S. history has ever told somebody what they can and can't say.
The whole purpose of the First Amendment is to keep the government the hell out of the business of speech.
Many of us have to be brought to the brink. A lot of us here have called it.
I can only show you the door.
To awaken others.
You're the one that has to walk through it.
Spreading a message.
Something's happening, right?
The world is changing every day.
Civilization is weird.
Time is coming. The train can't be stopped.